Hello. Today we will be learning about finning and tubing in the Grille Expand. The Grille Expander is a large manufacturing machine that takes the grill assemblies and expands the tubes that go between the aluminum fins in order to lock them into place. Finning is the process of placing the fins into the assembly, and tubing is placing the tubes through the holes in the fins. For this lesson, we will assume you have the grill assembly ready with the jig table closed. Start by grabbing a stack of fins from the jig table. You'll see the shelves for holding the fins and space for the tubes below. Pause for a moment and be sure you are using the correct fins and tubes for the grill you are assembling. There should be setup cards for each jig in the area, or you can double check the part number using the routing slip that comes with the fins and verifying that with the corresponding blueprint for the part. You will need to do the same with the tubes later. Ask your supervisor or lead for help if you aren't sure if you are using the correct parts. Firmly grip the fins with your right hand and bend the top of the stack with your other hand. Gently bend the fins back and forth until they start to separate. If needed, do the same with the other end by reversing the grip of your hands. When the fins are separated adequately for you, begin to insert them into the slots in the grill jig. Slightly bend them and they will slide into place. Repeat this process with another stack of fins until each slot is filled. Use a header or other straight piece of metal to evenly push the fins the rest of the way into the slots in the jig. Place the clamps over the grill jig, but only slightly tighten them for now. You'll tighten them all the way once the tubes are inserted. This allows the fins to be adjusted, making inserting the tubes easier. Once you have all the fins inserted, you can move on to tubing the grill. There are sections of the assembly table made for holding oil. For this purpose, Red Dot uses a metalworking fluid kept in barrels in the area. If there is no oil left in your jig table, you must hand pump the oil from the barrel into a smaller container, and then pour that oil into the compartments of the jig table. Brush the tubes with oil before inserting them, or the tubes will not slide easily into the fins and will get bent. Keep the tubes well oiled to avoid any damage to them. Begin by inserting one tube on each end of the grill to help line up the fins. You will have to adjust the position of the fins in order to get the tubes inserted. Press the fins on the side to move them until you can get the tube in. Be careful not to force the tubes in. We don't want any damage to the parts. Grab as many tubes as you can comfortably hold and place them all into the holes in the fins. Make sure all of the holes are filled and the tubes are in all the way. Tighten the clamps on the jig, and then move on to the next lesson to continue with the grill expansion. Take a moment to review the information in this video and the written lesson by going over some evaluation criteria for finning and tubing in the grill expand area. Number 1. The operator correctly identifies where hands should be placed when starting to fin. This means they know how to place their hands in certain positions so they can separate the fins. Number 2. The operator is able to insert and line up all the fins so the grill can be tubed. This means they know how to straighten the fins to be sure they are fully inserted into the jig. And number 3. The operator can tube the jig board without bending the tubes. So the operator knows how to adjust the fins so the tubes can be inserted without forcing them. That's all you need to know about finning and tubing the grills in the grill expand area. If you have any questions, be sure to ask your supervisor or coworkers for guidance, and thank you for your contribution toward making Red Dot a better company.